Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy AI Legends, and finally I'm back with the next part of what if Naruto was the reincarnation of Jiren and was neglected by his family. So, without any further ado, let us start our video. But before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys you can say are new to this channel, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so because it will help me a lot as I want to reach 10k as quick as possible. So I'm uploading a lot of videos and new series so you guys can enjoy it. And for the next part, as quick as possible, the like goal is going to be 350 likes as usual, and for the comment goal it is going to be 180 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. Who knows, even today. It is really upon you guys. So without any further ado, let us start our video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto was actually neglected by his family, but Naruto did not lose any hope in it as he wanted to reach the level where his parents could actually acknowledge him. So he worked really hard. He unlocked his chakra on his own. He mastered the leaf exercise and then even the tree walking and water walking exercise on his own. But when he arrived at his home, Veto, you can say happy, wanted to show his parents and finally got the love which he deserved from his family. But instead of love, he got a slap on his face by the hands of Kushina and even Minato as they told him how it is not. They are not going to acknowledge him as Naruto's heart broke that day as he told both of them that how he hated both of them as well as Menma and Mito. This shook both Minato and Kushina to the core as they thought of apologizing to Naruto at the mid of the night, but it was already way too late as Naruto had already left the village thanks to his, you can say, enhanced chakra control as well as ki, as he was able to run past all the Junins as well as the, you can say, the teams which Minato sent to find Naruto. It was already way too late, but Naruto unfortunately got captured by the hands of bandits. But Naruto's power once again awoke, or rather the power of the Jiren, the Grey, the mightiest warrior of a specific universe, as Naruto destroyed the camp and blasted the leader of the bandits like he was nothing, and destroying a big portion of the forest with little to no difficulty as the girls which Naruto, you can say, free, took him to a nearby village. And now Naruto was inside of the village praised as a hero. As now let us go even further as Naruto has finally left that small village and he was wondering what his destination should be. He has heard about the Uzushiogakure which was destroyed, the home village of the Uzumakis, which seems to be nearby, so why not go there for some time, as he heard that there are some seals there so no one can pass by it, though he has to see it for himself. As right now he was finally inside of the ruins of the Uzushiogakure and was wondering if anyone could actually find him here, as Naruto liked to read a lot, so he knew about the Uzushiogakure as well as the seals that were around him. So only an Uzumaki, as much as he hate that name now coming from his mother, though he did not hate it, the clan, but still, as that is that, as he was finally inside of the Uzushiogakure and it is about time for him to start his training and wanted to know about that power which he used, which he felt, as he simply shook his head. Now he has to use his chakra if he wants to become a strong shinobi, but first he has to find some place where he could actually rest, as he was able to find a house as it was the large building of the Kage. Though in this series I'm not going to make Naruto have a lot of jutsus because he's not going to need them, though he will still learn about the seals here and there if the need ever by. As he started to learn some seals as they were there, you can say that, as now we have a timescape of 3 years, no, 4 years. Right now Naruto is 11 years old as Naruto was simply flying by everything as he in this time he was able to become a pretty strong. A flashback for Naruto as Naruto has arrived, 1 month has passed in the Uzushiogakure, as in this time all the teams which Minato sent were not able to find Naruto, though they were able to find the tracks that how he came to this area, as well as finding a bit of information that Naruto was the one who saved and destroyed all the bandits there, as the Ambu was reporting back to Minato, as Minato as well as Kushina, Jiraiya and Tsunade were there. They were pretty surprised as Minato said, wait a minute, are you telling me that my son destroyed a whole camp of bandits? What do you mean by that? As the Inuzuka member simply shook his head, well Lord Hokage, this is the information we found, as Naruto Sama has, you can say, simply freed many girls that were kidnapped by the bandits, and this is, you can say, identical report. And we also saw a big explosion that occurred as the leader of the bandits was simply killed off because of that explosion. You have to say it. It was like an S-rank jutsu was simply launched, as Kushina said. But how could that even be? As Jiraiya said, Minato, did he stole some jutsus from you? Or did you check your library? As Minato shook his head and said, well, I did that, and the seals were there, so I don't think that Naruto took any scrolls with him. As Jiraiya sighed, thinking that Naruto got some scrolls to become strong or anything like it. As Tsunade narrowed her eyes towards Jiraiya, but he also shook her head. As Minato said, so did you find him? As he simply shook his head and said, well, sorry Lord Hokage, we were trying our best, but it seemed that Naruto-sama could went to some other village or have crossed our border, but I don't think that we can find him anymore. We try our best. As Kushina gritted her teeth. What do you mean by that? We cannot find him anymore. We will send someone even more responsible than you are. Now get lost. As the Inuzuka member simply looked down as Minato said, that is enough, Kushina. Well, I'm sorry about it, but you can leave now. As the Inuzuka and Hyuga member simply nodded and went past as Minato sighed at that. Now flashback towards Naruto, as after 1 month of training, as Naruto could feel a pull in his mind, as there was something was telling him to close his eyes. As Naruto did so, as he was in concentration manner, as he could feel a strange power despite chakra, though he did not knew about chakra to begin with. It could be his strange chakra, but there's something telling him that something new, something strange was also there. As he closes his eyes and finally he opened his eyes to see the universe, as it was like he was in a vacuum. The stars were everywhere, planets, and then a strange power source. As he started to float towards it, as he arrived to see a person who had red and black clothes, as he was seems to be in concentration mode. As Naruto was pretty surprised, wondering if it was a dream or not. As then the person speak up, so you have finally come to visit me, huh? As Naruto said, who are you? As Jiren opened his eyes as he looked towards Naruto. So you are my reincarnation. Pretty interesting. As Naruto looked towards Jiren as he said, reincarnation? What do you mean by that? As Jiren only chuckled and said, well, allow me to explain. As Jiren started to explain who is, as he came from a different universe and all that, how he made a wish from the wish granting orbs and how he is in this universe and Naruto has all of his powers, as this was way too much to take in at once. As Naruto said, you mean that I am you? As Jiren simply nodded and said, well, it seems that my powers and memories has make this kind of, you can say, separate brain, a separate thinking in your mind, which is right now me. I am not originally, you can say, I am reincarnated as you, but all of my previous powers and memories has been constructed in your mind and took a form of me. I am the knowledge and the power of the Jiren of the Grey, while on the other hand you are the original Jiren Grey, as or rather Naruto Uzumaki, right? And Naruto only scoffed, well, don't call me Uzumaki, I don't need that name. So, I'm the original Jiren Grey, and you are just his powers and memories, right? As Jiren simply nodded, well, more like memories, as well as the knowledge which he gained. As Naruto said, so, about this power, how can I use it? As Jiren smiled and said, well, I'm here to teach you that, and trust me kid, it will be a hell of a training if you want to even handle a fraction of my power. As Naruto smug, but if you think that you're that tough, then bring it on. My name is Naruto the Great from here on. As Jiren only chuckled and said, so, taking the name of my family, huh? Well, that is good and well. Though in my original life, I love my family and returned me back and they love me back. Though I lost them during that incident. As he simply shook his head. As Naruto said, well, it seems that you know my life, so I don't think that I need to explain it to you. As Jiren simply looked towards him and nodded and said, well, don't worry about it. I can still sense that the deepest desire in your heart, and trust me, it is same as me. As not only scoff at that, I do not need that family anymore. I will become strong on my own and prove to all of them who thought that I was talentless and I was a weakling, not deserving of the name of Uzumaki Namikaze, not deserving to lead that clan. As he became angry, As he simply scoffed and said, alright, I will train as hard as possible and trust me, and when I'm done with it, I will become strong even with or without this power. As Jiren only smiled, well, it is going to be a hard training, and when everything over, I will disappear from here and once again became the part of original, or rather you. As Naruto only smiled, alright, let's begin our training. As Jiren nodded, flashback ends. Naruto right now is around 11 years old and his outfit is like this: black ambu pants and black sandals, and then red and black shirt. You can say black shirt, or yeah, it should be black shirt and red coat like it on upper. As Naruto was flying through the air as he said, well, it is about time that I arrived here. As he finally was flying over the ocean and he has finally landed into a small village. As he said, it should be fun. As he started to walk towards a specific area where he could sense some of the shinobis trying to hide their signature. As then Naruto was suddenly surrounded by several shinobis, as right now he was inside of a, you can say, mist village, as he was surrounded by the shinobis. As he said, who are you and what is your business here? As Naruto simply looked towards them in bold expression as he said, well, my business, I will not tell you. Well, not you. Bring your leader here. As one of the, you can say, bluish color hair guy arrived. What is going on here? As the shinobi said, well, Lord A, Ao, what was his name again? Aoi? Yeah, I think that was the name. As this kid seems to be an intruder, as Aoi looked towards Naruto and activated his Byakugan as he was in utter shock what he saw, as this chakra was so potent and dense and seems to be something was holding it back. As Naruto was simply suppressing his ki and chakra mix, a strange combination, though his ki was still potent and more powerful than his own chakra, and he has all the techniques and everything which Jiren right now knew, though he is still not at the same level of original Jiren, which is true because he is only 11 years old to begin with. But in this universe, there is no one who can even touch him slightly. As Naruto only looked towards him and said, well, I wish to join the rebellions against Yagura. As the Aoi looked towards him and took a step back and said, and then he kept his composure and said, and why do you want to do that? As Naruto only shrugged and said, well, I dream to become a shinobi. As Aoi said, you want to become the shinobi of Mist. As Naruto only shook his head, well, not the Mist village, but one day I want to become a shinobi, so I thought that it would be good that I have some experience of the war, and what's the best place to be in bloody mist? As he looked around, well, I heard many rumors about this place and all the things. Well, the time I was outside of my home thinking about the Uzushiogakure, where he was actually excluded, only training and eating. As he said, as he simply shook his head, well, I can easily tell you have already sensed or rather see my powers, so it is only fair that you bring me to your original leader, which you are definitely not. As Aoi simply keep his composure and said, alright, follow me. As Naruto nodded, as the shinobis were still keeping an eye on Naruto, as Naruto started to walk towards Aoi, and then they finally arrived at the headquarters of the rebellions. As Aoi took him to, you can say, Mei, who was doing some work, how to, you can say, trying to make some strategies, how to keep, you can say, take over the Mist village once again. As she was wondering, as then Aoi came into the room and said, well, Miss Mei. As Mei looked towards him and said, what do you want? As he said, well, this kid wants to join the rebellions. As Mei looked towards Naruto, a bit confused, as he said, this 11-year-old kid, huh? So kid, what do you have to offer? As Naruto only looked towards her and said, well, I just want to join the rebellion and end this war as quick as possible. Though I just want to have a bit of experience, to be honest with you. I do not care about this war to begin with. As Mei only narrowed her eyes towards Naruto. And why should we let you join us to begin with? Who knows, you could be a spy for Yagura to come here. As Naruto only shrugged his shoulder and said, well, if you want to believe me or not, it does not concern me to begin with. I just want to have a bit of experience of war, and I thought that rebellions needed help. Though, if I want to, I can even join the Yagura if I want to. As Mei's eyes widened, and then he narrowed her eyes towards Naruto. But before she could say anything, Aoi went towards Mei and said, Mei-sama, as he started to explain what he saw with his Byakugan, and this kid was actually flying. He saw it by using his Sharingan, a projector that was coming towards the village with incredible speed. As Mei's eyes narrowed towards Naruto and said, alright, we have to see what level of power do you actually have, and we will decide what you can actually do in this rebellion. As Naruto only shrugged, well, it should be easy enough. Just bring your best shinobi so I can get this over with. As Mei said, confidence, aren't you? As Naruto only laughed and said, well, that is only natural. So bring your best shinobi. As Mei nodded and then looked towards Aoi. As he nodded and then suddenly 3 elite Jonins arrived. As he said, well, Lord Mei, you have summoned us. As Mei said, well, this is our new recruit and we want to see that how strong he actually is. So you guys are tasked to test him. As one of the elite Jonin who had a blue sword behind him and said, this little brat, huh? Well, why summon us? Summon some Chunins or low Jonins. They can test him. He could be at best Chunin level, right? As all of them agree, as Naruto only scoffed, well, why don't you come and see what level I am myself? I would love to prove it to you. As he narrowed his eyes towards him, as Mei said, alright, that is enough. You three will fight him at once. If you think that he is such a brat, then prove it. As all the Jonins simply looked towards her and then towards Naruto. Alright, brat, you asked for it, but don't worry, I will not go all out. As he narrowed his eyes towards Naruto, who simply shrugged. Alright, bring it on. As all three of them simply went across Naruto. As one of them said, so brat, you're that arrogant. Who taught you? And where are you from? Which village you're from? As Naruto had a blank expression on his face as he folded his arms just like Jiren. You can see in this picture as he said, you talk too much. If you want answers, why don't you get it? As the Jonin grated his teeth, well kid, I was about to go easy on you, but your attitude is something I have to fix. Well, don't worry, I'll fix it for you. As he rushed towards Naruto with a low Jonin speed, thinking that this kid is nothing. As Naruto only started to dodge all the, you can say, if you have seen the fight between Kefla versus Ultra Instinct Naruto, as Naruto started to dodge all the attacks like they were nothing, not even moving from the place, as the Jonin was in utter shock. As both of the Jonin's eyes widened, they did not even saw this kid move. As then one of them tried to stab Naruto from behind, as his sword simply went past Naruto, as it was like he was not even there, but he was there. As his eyes widened, as he tried to swing his sword over and over again, but it was simply passing by Naruto, as Naruto was moving so fast that it was leaving images after him. As the Jonin made some distance and quickly go to hand side and said, water style, water dragon. As the water dragon rushed towards Naruto, as Naruto only blinked towards the dragon and it burst into water droplets. As everyone who was watching this battle was in awe. As Mei's eyes widened, the water dragon is an A rank jutsu and it was really powerful. And for someone to just blink and destroy it, it was something new. As she looked towards Aoi, asking him if he used some jutsu to dispel the dragon, as he simply shook his head no. He simply blinked and the force which arrived from his eyelash simply destroyed the dragon. As this kid is really something else. As Mei was wondering if what could be the level of 11 years old and what village he came from, if he could join the Mist village after they win the rebellion. As she was wondering that, she was thinking as if they have already won. As Naruto simply yawned, if this is all, I would love to end this. As the Jonin gritted their teeth as they went towards Naruto with incredible speed. Naruto said, well, this is boring, as he moved past all of them with incredible speed. As one moment he was there and the next moment he was simply walking towards Mei with both of his hands in his pocket. As with a blank expression on their faces, no one saw anything, but then suddenly, just like Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku did to Jiren, after just activating it, as all of them hit with you can say invisible hits and slammed into the nearby area like buildings and all, and everyone was in awe as all 3 elite Jonis were knocked out in seconds and no one saw a single thing. As Naruto said, so is that good of demonstration? Can I join now? As Mei eyes widened as she simply shook her head. Of course, you can join. As Naruto said, yeah, that should be good enough. It could be a great experience. So, what should I do? Should I barge in to the Mizukage office and get rid of him? As Mei said, no, you cannot do that. As Naruto said, don't tell me what I can and cannot. Just tell me plans and I will decide if the plans are worth following, as May only blush, as you can say. This kid was only 11 years old, but his dominant nature was something which was making a lot of girls there simply blush. As she said, okay, I have to ask counsel first. As Naruto said, yeah, whatever, go do that. As he simply went past and looked towards the plants himself, as May nodded and went with Aoi to the council room, as all the council members, or rather, the Council of the Rebellions were talking about this kid, as one of the council members said, May, he could be a spy or something like it. Yes, May shook her head and said, well, I've seen him personally, and he's something else. I can tell that he's not on the side of Yagura. If Yagura had someone like him, he could have easily barged in by now and destroyed all of us. His forces are more than enough. He do not need a spy within. And if he knew about our location, then it was already over. As the rebellion started to think about it, it was a valid point after all, as they were wondering who this kid actually was, as they agree for Naruto to follow the rebellions. As May said, alright, that should be good enough, as now it was about time. As May said, alright, as he was looking towards the rebellion and said, well, it is about time for our last dance. We have heard that how the Yagura was able to destroy one of the camp of rebellion. Now we are low in number, but it does not matter, because we are going to attack the office today and we are going to take over the village. It is about time. It is about our right. We will not let the name of the blood village, the blood mist village, follow anymore. We will save our families, giving a Takono Chusu of our old version, as all the, you can say, rebels were ready to lay their life on the line. Naruto was simply listening to all of this with bored expression on his face, as he said, well, that should be interesting. As now May said, alright, I'll be taking on Yagura, if he and you will be taking on many of the shinobis that are there and helping them. As Naruto only shook his head, as she only nodded and said, alright, it's about time. Now let us go to Yagura's office, as Yagura was standing in front of his forces, as some of the Jonins were there. Well, Lord Yagura, it seems that our information is right. They are coming directly for us. We have to prepare. As Yagura only smiled, as May has finally gone crazy. After all, he knew that once he destroyed that base of rebellions, then it would be all over for May, and she will try her best to come with all the forces she had remained. And now he will finally end her along with all the rebels. And he has a smirk on his face as he said, alright, it's about time that we get rid of those monsters of bloodline. As all the forces were really happy, as Yagura said, alright force, as all the shinobis were standing in front of him. Today is the day we are going to destroy the rebels and purify our land from those monsters of bloodline. As everyone was cheering for Yagura, and then boom, as the rebels has finally arrived, as their shinobis burst into the village. As Yagura said, now attack, as she has already evacuated all the village. Now it is going to be a battlefield for shinobis, as all the shinobis, as it is going to be, you can say, 5,000 against 1,000 shinobi, as it was already clear to rebels that they are going to lose, but they have to fight. And then they were fighting as Yagura was smirking as May landed beside him. Alright Yagura, it's about time that I take you down. As Aoi also landed beside May and said, May-sama, as May said, well, Aoi, fight the shinobis here. Don't worry about me. I'll be taking on Yagura. As she was ready. As Yagura only laughed, well May, you have finally lost your mind. It seemed that it's about time that our little game ends here. As May said, guess what, Yagura, we are going to win this battle. As Yagura said, keep dreaming. As while on the other hand, a single figure was in the sky watching everything. This was none other than Naruto, not interested in the battle, though he had already made, you can say, 10 clones of himself, and they were simply destroying the forces of Yagura with extraordinary speed and power. He was interested in this jutsu because he could train with himself and improve at a rapid speed, not an idiot like Naruto original canon. So he was able to figure out that he could learn a lot quicker thanks to using shadow clones, which he found inside of the Uzushiogakure library, and mastered the seals at extraordinary level. So that is that. As May said, alright, as she quickly go through hand sign and then lava started to came from her mouth as Yagura simply laughed and then a water dragon rushed towards the lava as there was steam everywhere as Yagura made some distance as this time the double-headed water dragon rushed towards the incoming attack, completely dispelling it as May rushed towards Yagura trying to make steam everywhere so that she could actually boil him and all as Yagura was quick enough as he started to channel his Biju chakra, wanted to end this battle as quick as possible. This was his opportunity. The annoyance which was keeping him busy all of this time and disturbing him from his original goal was now in front of him and he is going to get rid of her as May was trying her best as she started to use all the jutsus. After all, she was no weakling. She fought against Madara like people, so well, in the original canon that is, but still Yagura was something else as he started to channel his Biju chakra and reverted to red state of Biju's form as he wanted to end this battle as quick as possible as May was no match as some of the shinobi started to saw this as they started to lose hope, but then just when Yagura sent a Biju Dama towards May ready to end her as May only closes her eyes knowing that this battle is over, but then suddenly Biju Dama was smacked and it was sent flying in the opposite direction towards the sea as all the shinobis who were ready to see the death of their leader May and ready to surrender were in utter awe, as well as the shinobis of Yagura who were thinking that the war is finally over and they're going to win and get rid of all the bloodline demons in their village were also shocked. The best attack of their leader was smacked away like it was nothing, and in front of it was none other than a single person who had a small finger extended and like he had just puked the Biju Dama away as this boy had blonde hair and he was dressed in red and black outfit. As Naruto said, that was pretty interesting of an attack, pretty similar to my own, though a weaker version of it, though too weak to be honest, as Yagura glared at this new coming boy as this kid. He did not care if this kid was 10 to 11 years old, he's going to smack this kid and finally beat him to the ground. As Naruto only smirked and said, well, let's see how strong of a Kage you actually are. As May said, wait, you cannot take him on. As Naruto said, take care of yourself, lady. As he simply vanished from the eyes of May as May's eyes widened and the next thing everyone saw as Naruto burst towards Yagura, sending him flying as all the shinobis were in utter awe as Yagura was sent in the ocean as the battle once again began as they were in utter shock. The kid was flying and rocketing towards their leader as Yagura once again powered up a Biju Dama and launch it towards Naruto and Naruto simply smack it away like it was nothing, and then reddish aura started to surround Naruto as everyone in Mist Village were on their knees as the fighting shinobi. They could not understand the pressure was like a Biju but far different, far powerful, far too strong as Naruto sent flying, sent Yagura punching him on his face down to the ocean as Yagura simply burst out of the ocean and then finally let out a scream and finally transforming into the full three-tailed turtle. As three-tailed turtle let out a scream as Yagura speak up from his mouth, you little brat, who are you and where did you come from? As Naruto only smirked at the turtle and said, well, pretty interesting ability, but I wondered if Man Mito has it. Thinking about his siblings, but he simply shook those thoughts out of his mind, as if those arrogant kids would ever reach this level. But I do wonder. As he looked towards the three-tailed turtle, ignoring him completely as Yagura gritted his teeth, as Naruto said, well, don't worry about it, because soon enough you're going to be a dead man. So why ponder and danger your small mind with such information? As Yagura gritted his teeth, alright kids, I have enough, as three of his tails rushed towards Naruto ready to smack him as the three tails started to smack him to the ocean as he said, get that you little brat, but then suddenly he felt something was pulling his tails as Yagura's eyes widened as everyone saw that the three-tailed turtle was in the mid of air as Naruto smacked him to the ocean as he let out a scream as Naruto smirked as he blasted the turtle on his shell as Yagura thought that it was invincible, his shell was unbreakable, but he was in utter shock as it was blasted away as there was a big hole in his shell now as well as the body below it as Yagura was in pain as Naruto kicked him, as the small kick sent the turtle flying, as all the shinobis were watching in awe, as the rebellions were simply cheering, but still this pressure was not lifting from their shoulder as all of them were still on the ground, and all the battle was already stopped, and Naruto did it on purpose, wanted to stop the battle, already knowing that the Mist Village is going to need some shinobis after it's done with this. As Naruto said, well, I came here how to see how the war actually happens, but it seemed that if you have strength, the war is nothing. As Yagura finally had enough as he powered up full power Biju Dama. This is everything I have. Now you will die. As he released the Biju Dama with full power. As Mei's eyes widen, if Naruto cannot stop that attack, then the whole Mist Village will be eradicated. All the shinobis, even of Yagura's side, were in utter shock as well as scared at the same time as the attack rushed towards Naruto. As everyone saw, the attack was nearing Naruto as Naruto grabbed the attack in the mid-air as everyone's eyes widened. This was the strongest Biju Dama, far bigger than the small Biju Dama which Yagura released before, which Naruto deflected like nothing. As the Biju Dama was still rushing towards Naruto, trying to force him or blast him, but Naruto with a single hand was grabbing him in the same fashion as you can see in this thumbnail, as a single hand was towards Biju Dama, as Naruto said, powerful attack indeed, though nothing compared to me. As Naruto started to pull the Biju Dama, as everyone saw, as the Biju Dama started to get shrink, and it turned into nothingness as Naruto, as but a small ball, as Naruto smirked, here, have it back, as Naruto released the attack towards Yagura's face, or the three-tailed turtle's face, as Yagura's eyes widened. His own attack blasted on his face, sending him flying into the ocean, and there was a big boom as the whole Mist Village shook with the power and the blast shockwave, as everyone saw in awe how destructive that attack actually was, as they were really impressed, as Mei was thinking, who is this kid? As Naruto simply blasted the Yagura, as Naruto started to float towards a small body who has reverted back from his treated state, barely conscious, as Naruto landed in front of him and said, so are you done, As Yagura glared at Naruto, who are you? As Naruto smirked and said, well, my name is Naruto Grey, and you can say that I'm the strongest shinobi to ever walk on this planet. As Yagura gritted his teeth, you damn brat, you think that you're stronger than me? As he tried to stood up on his feet, but his legs were not supporting him. You're nothing. I'm a Kage. As Naruto laughed and said, well, so much for a Kage. As there was a small chuckle, not laughing that much, because Naruto is more like Jiren. As he said, well, it's about time that I get rid of you, though it is none of my business. So now, why not give you to the people who you have wronged? As Yagura gritted his teeth and said, well, you think that I will go down alone? No, I will take you down with me. As Yagura, you can say, simply shattered his shirt and there were seals all over his body. As Naruto's eyes narrowed, as Yagura said, now die. As seals started to, you can say, glow in his body, and then there was a boom, as it was not equal, but at a great degree of that of a Biju Dama, as everyone's eyes widened, as there was another blast, as the next thing, they waited for the blast to die down, as they saw the reddish chakra inside, you can say, started to move upward into the sky and then dashed into nothingness. As Naruto said, so Biju is out, As there was smoke coming from Naruto's body, as Naruto said, I wonder. I just wanted to take the hit, though it was pretty weak. As the float started to fly inside, you can say, in the air, as he rushed towards all the Mist Shinobis, as they were watching this guy in awe, as the Shinobis who were on the side of Yagura were thinking if they are going to be dead or not. As Naruto landed beside Mei and said, well, it seems that the war is already over. Well, pretty boring to be honest. As Mei was still in shock as Naruto lifted his pressure, and now the shinobis could stand up, as all the shinobis of Yagura simply threw their weapons to the ground, knowing that this kid will simply eradicate all of them into nothingness if they were to ever disobey his order. And if he is on the side of Mei, then they are already doomed. While on the other hand, all the rebellions burst into cheers. The war is finally over. The leader of the mist village Yagura was finally done, finally has died, as May was still in utter shock, trying to overcome the shock she has seen this kid smack away Biju Dama like they were balloons, and defeated a cage level shinobi and not even have a scratch on his body. It was just his clothes, and she could even bet that he even let that attack to hit him because his body was alright, not even a scratch on it, as she was wondering who is this kid. As Naruto said, pretty boring of a war it was, but it seemed that you're going to be the next Kage of this small village, right? As Mei said, well, it seems that way. As Naruto said, well, take over your shinobi. Though I'm leaving. As they started to fly into the air, as Mei said, wait. As Naruto looked down and said, as she said, wait for some time. Stay in the village. If you want to, you can also join. But Naruto said, well, I do not want to join. But it would be a great idea to remain in this village. I can have a small picnic. As Mei simply shook her head, and now she has a lot of work to do. As Naruto in this time was declared you can say, the hero of this whole nation, whole village. But Naruto did not tell anyone his name. He simply ignored all the fangirls and the people asking him his name and all. So they started to give him different name as the badass guy to ever live and names like that as Naruto was declared. And now we have a time skip. In this time, Mei has finally declared as a fifth Mizukage, as she had taken over the Mist Village, as everyone was cheering for her name, but still wondering about that other kid, as Naruto was right now inside of the office of Mei, still looking bored as usual, as Mei said, so have you thought over my offer of you, Naruto-kun? As Naruto simply shook his head, well, I did thought it over, but I have my own plans. As May only sighed, so you're not going to stay in this village and become a shinobi of it. As Naruto said, well, if you have any, you can say, trouble in the future, I will help you. As May simply shook her head, already knowing that she does not have the power to stop this kid. As Aoi said, well, Naruto-sama, it seems that this village people really loves you. Why not tell them your name at least? As Naruto said, well, it is not the right time, you can say, and don't expose my name to anyone. Just tell them different names if you want to, but it would be good not to tell them anything. As May said, well, the baddest person to ever live, that should sound good to you. As Naruto only chuckled, as Aoi also laughed a little. As May said, so where did you actually came from, Naruto-kun? Just tell me that. As Naruto simply looked towards her, well, I'm a roaming person, not dedicated to any village to begin with, but I think that I'm going to join Konoha. As May said, why Konoha? Is it because it's the strongest village? As Naruto said, well, the strongest village does not concern me a little bit. I can eradicate that place in the matter of seconds if I so desire. As May already knew, even if Konoha was the strongest 9 tails inside of it, it will not change the fact this kid has taken down a Biju without a scratch on his body, and it was like he could take on an army after it and still come out like nothing happens to his body. As Naruto only laughed and said, well, it's about time that I leave. As May said, you did not answer me. As Naruto said, well, I would love to say hi to my former parents and siblings. The fourth Hokage and his wife, as May's and Aoi's eyes widened. This was the son of fourth Hokage? Well, come to think of it, they did read some reports here and there about the missing son of the Yellow Flash, but they did not pay it any mind. After all, they were in the middle of a war. As May said, you're the son of Minato Namakate? And Naruto said, scoffed and said, well, that guy is not no father of mine, but it does not matter to begin with. I'm going to join Konoha. I have my reasons for that. And if you want any help, you can get it. But I'm pretty sure that we will meet each other in the Chunin exams. But right now, I have some other journeys to take care of. It is still time for me to go to Konoha. As May simply nodded at that. As Naruto said, well, so long, as they started to fly within the air and burst into the skies. As May said, I should have asked him how he did that. As Aoi said, yeah, it would have helped us in a lot of missions. How many missions we could have done? As May looked towards him. Aoi, as he looked towards her, shut up. As otherwise I will kill you. With a sweet smile, as Aoi paled and said, of course, May-sama. As he burst from that office. As May said, Naruto-kun, as she was wondering to herself, while on the other hand Naruto was simply flying away, wondering what he should do next and what should be his new destination, or he should what he should do, or things like that. Okay guys, here I will left this part. Hope you guys like this part. For the next part, you guys have to do be, let's see, 350 likes, just like I said in the start of this video, as well as comments, 180 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. Who knows, I might even upload the next part today, right now and right here. It really depends upon you guys. So see you guys in the next video and take care of yourself. And yeah guys, peace.